D. Furin for an engagement ring he says he gave her because they were supposed to be married. She says he's the one who called off the wedding.
Order, all rise. Quiet in the courtroom, please. Yeah, it's number 78 on the calendar in the matter of Ehrlich versus Fern. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Have a seat, please.
Mr. Ehrlich, you want your engagement ring back?
Correct.
She says that you owe her a small fortune, so she's countersuing for $5,000, which would make this case a wash.
That's what I understand.
So why don't you tell me about this ill-fated romance, sir?
You bet. Your Honor, Rhonda Furin is a woman that I was madly in love with, okay? We both are from Minnesota. She took a teaching job in California for a year. We dated for 2 years. This last February in Las Vegas, I proposed to Rhonda, and I gave her an engagement ring. Okay, she accepted that engagement ring.
Tell me about the engagement ring.
You bet. The engagement ring, which I have here that I bought, was $1.5 carat, okay, engagement ring. And basically, the value of it is $8,000, but I have the receipt right here. Interesting you asked about an engagement ring. The first engagement ring I gave her was 1 carat, okay? That wasn't big enough. When Rhonda came back to Minnesota, we exchanged that ring, we got a bigger one. After that second ring, we got her a third ring because that one wasn't clear enough. I got a bigger and a clearer ring for her, which was at Bediner Jewelry right there. Okay?
That should have told you something right then and there,
right there. Absolutely. Yes, it should have, Your Honor.
Go.
Basically what happened is that when we got engaged, from that night on February 7th of '97, I found out recently that Rhonda had never any intention of not only marrying me, she was not in love with me. She was basically, which I have a very crucial witness here, her roommate, basically who she lived with, that this was one big con game. Rhonda was taking me for everything I had, money, wardrobes, rent money, grocery money, everything. She was not in love with me, and the most important thing out of this whole thing is that Rhonda, you know, it is so actually embarrassing and hurtful to say this. Rhonda had already been in a serious relationship, a guy that was spending 2-3 nights a week over at her apartment with her roommate that she was sleeping with, that she was with, and basically, okay, this person that she was with was already 2 months old into her relationship when she accepted my ring on the stage of Caesar's Palace, okay, on February 7th. Now, the only thing I need to really say here is how many engaged couples, how many people ask someone to get married, and that person, Rhonda, goes back to California that night with the engagement ring, we're all happy. I never heard from her. I didn't hear from her that next day. I didn't hear from her a week later. I finally called a roommate at 11 o'clock, midnight, all around the clock saying, have you seen Rhonda, my fiance? Do you know where she is, Terry? Terry was covering for Rhonda because Rhonda was with another guy. This all came out. I was made a fool of. Rhonda finally got a hold of me, Your Honor, and she said, hey, I still love you. I still want to be with you. She came to Minnesota, and what's my proof? We had an engagement dinner. My sister put on an engagement dinner. My whole family there. The ring went around the table to my cousins and aunts. She played my whole family for this act, this scam, that she was going to move back at the end of June, this month, right now. She was going to move back, and she was going to plan a May of '98 wedding in front of everybody. When she got this third ring that you have, that when she came back to Minnesota at the end of April, she took the ring, and this is very important. The jeweler says to her, ma'am, you can pick up the ring in the morning. I will have it mounted and set for you. No, Mr. Bediner, that won't do any good. I need the ring right now. Ma'am, I'd have to stay here and pay my guy till 7:30 night. They did it for her. I said, Rhonda, can I ask you, why do you have to be home? It's Saturday night. You have a week left of vacation before you go back to teaching. Why tonight? I have to get back tonight. No, I'm going to school Monday. I found out, Your Honor, that she got that ring. She took it that night. They stayed late for her. She went back to California. She moved out of her apartment from her ex-roommate, okay? I never heard from her again. I never had a phone number. I never had a forwarding address, nothing. I never heard from Rhonda again. It was at that point, just recently, 3 weeks ago, her roommate said, David, excuse me, you ready? This is going to hurt you, but I think it's time you stop calling me because I'm in the middle of this, and I don't want to be in the middle of it. She has been on the phone with you for the last 3 months. She's made up all these stories that you owe her money and that you're this and you're that, the whole thing. David, she is with another guy. This guy, I know his name, he's in the room today. She is living with him, okay? She does not love you. She wanted to get the money. You bought her all these clothes, David. You're an idiot. Her roommate was saying, you've gotten all these clothes for her and the money and the cash and everything that you've given her. I said, Terry, I was in love with her.
Where's Terry?
Right here.
Step up here. You were Miss Fern's roommate?
Yes, I was.
How long were you her roommate?
6 months.
You've just heard him tell this very sad story. Is it accurate?
Yes. She told me from the get-go that she did not love David. She had no intentions of ever moving back to Minnesota or marrying him. She told me that he owed her all this money, and she needed to keep the relationship going to get the money back from him that he had owed her.
What money did she say he owed her?
She told me that he owed on a couple credit cards that she had done cash advances on for him, and other money while they were living together in Minnesota.
How much money did she say?
It was thousands from what she said.
Did she tell you she had no intention of marrying him?
Yes. On
What
more
did she
than one
say?
occasion. She said she didn't love him. She was doing this just to get her money back, and she was never moving back to Minnesota. She was staying here.
May I ask one thing, Your Honor? When I found this out from Terry on the phone, I was kind of playing the judge for a second. I said, Terry, let me ask you something. Why would you tell me this? Why she is the, you're the witness, you're the roommate of Rhonda. Why would you go to bat for me? Why would you come into court for me? And not that this is what we'll spend our time with today, because she's done the exact same thing to her roommate. She has stuck her roommate with bills, she has lied to her roommate, and she's lied about everything that, in front of me and my family. I mean, okay, go ahead. I mean, it's one lie. It's one lie after another.
Sit down, please. Could you step up, please?
My name is Jan Ehrlich. I'm David's sister. We welcomed Rhonda into our home as a guest for a week. They had gone on a trip to Cancun. They came back. We put on an engagement dinner. We announced to everybody, my aunt and my cousins, that they were getting married, passed around the ring. They happened to have been there the next night. They saw the next ring. And from the moment that David asked for the ring back, and this is something that she's done before, any information that she had gathered about our family for the week that she was a guest in our home, she tries to turn it around and use it against us. She threatened to call a family member's girlfriend and say that this family member, she saw them flirting with another woman.
I'm not interested in that.
And
now, Rhonda, you must have a side to this story, madam.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
When you lie to a judge once, they don't believe whatever you say. So I don't have to listen to whatever you say. You're a liar.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Sports anchor David Ehrlich says he proposed to Rhonda D. Furin in front of a Las Vegas show audience. And she kept the ring, but not the wedding date.
First, let me see the ring.
It's sold.
Do you have a receipt?
Just a sec.
Sorry.
Just a second. Hey. She was very quiet.
You're absolutely right.
She was very quiet. Why did you sell the ring?
David owes me in excess of $10,000 on the remaining amount that he had borrowed of $40,000. And he had told me that I could keep the ring to pay off past debt.
I want to see the receipt of the sold ring.
I have his phone number, and I have a appraisal of the ring. He is saying the ring is worth.
Now listen to me.
$8,000.
Don't try to dance around me. I said I want to see a receipt where you sold the ring, not its appraisal, madam, not anything else. I want to see from the jeweler or the person to whom you sold the ring, the receipt that you sold the ring and for how much. Do you have it?
I don't have a receipt. I just have his name and number. And
You do?
Mhm.
Give it to me.
And an appraisal.
Give it to me. Now, what is this? For relative? What does that mean?
Bassam bought it for a relative of his in the Middle East.
Who's Bassam?
A neighbor of mine,
Neighbor of yours from where?
where I reside.
And where is that?
Chino Hills.